right? And when he met the fig tree, from afar it looked like something was going on there, but when they got there, there was no fruit, and he cursed it, right? That it should dry from its roots, that nobody will eat of it. This curse of the fig tree, I believe, and many David Chilton also holds this view, that it was a prophetic statement about the destruction again of the temple in Jerusalem. But why is the destruction of the temple in Jerusalem important? It's actually the end of the old covenant era. Okay? After the destruction, after Jesus caused the fig tree, he then told them in parable that a certain man had a vineyard. He leased it out to husbandmen that would bear fruit, right? Then he sent his servants, right? Okay, give me like harvest. What did they do? Bible scholars, they beat the first or beat they sent another set. They did the same thing. He sent the third, they did the same thing. I said, okay, let me send my son. They will treat my son seriously, right? Then when they sent his son, what happened? They said that let us kill the son and we'll take the vineyard ourselves. Then Jesus now said, what will the Lord do? He said that he will destroy those guys and let out his vineyard to other men who will bear false fruit. What is the interpretation of this? The Jews were the ones who were custodians of the oracles and the covenants, right? And they were the ones that, God had sent prophets after prophets to ask them to bear fruit. But what had they done to the prophets? They killed the prophets, they stoned the prophets. Then God now said that I will send my son. They said that they will kill the son. What will happen when they kill the son? There is judgment waiting for them. Am I joking? Am I like, okay, let's look at the next verse, the next chapter, Matthew 22. In Matthew 22 is the parable of the wedding feast. A certain man organized a wedding feast for his son. He invited people who were worthy. They beat the first, they beat the servants, right? Then if you read it again, if you check it, they say, what will the Lord do? He said that he will destroy he will send his armies to destroy their cities. They now send them to go to the street and invite all those people who were not worthy. Again, this is a clear picture of the state of the Jewish people who had rejected the Messiah in the first century, 2,000 years ago. And the consequence of their action, that their city will be destroyed. I see the context. This is Matthew 21, 22. Matthew 23 is popular. Most people, when they preach Matthew 23, it's only the tithe that they bring out from there. Because of in Matthew 23, somewhere around there, there's that verse that says that you tithe mint, you pay tithes of mint and cumin, and you neglect weightier matters of the law. This you ought to do, and not to neglect, so just pulling their leg. So they look at the tithe and that's what we only bring. But the whole context is Jesus declaring woe unto the Pharisees, hypocrites. You compass land and sea to make one proselyte, then you make him twice the child of hell that you are. Woe to you, Pharisees, hypocrites. You like to wear long garments to be called father, right? Woe to you, scribes, you make the outside of the cup beautiful, inside is dirty. You make the sepulchre whited, inside is filled with dead men's bones. Then they opened their mouth to talk. Instead of to allow Jesus to talk, they said that, if we were in the days of our fathers, we wouldn't have killed the prophets. Jesus said, no, you have said it, that you were the sons of the people that killed the prophets. He now said a striking statement. I don't know if someone can, you are following me, 23, towards the end. I need someone to read it. Matthew 23, I think verse maybe 33. Just read it out so we just participate together. Okay, what does it say, sir?
It says, finish then the work that your ancestors began.
Okay, finish the work. Okay, just keep on reading, please.
You are like snakes.
Okay.
And like a family of dangerous snakes.
Okay.
You will not be able to run away.
Okay.
I am sure that God will judge you and will send you to hell.
Okay.
So I tell you this. I will send prophets to you.
Yeah.
I will also send people who know many things. And I will send people to teach you. But you will kill some of these people. You will kill some of them on a cross. In the places where you meet to pray, you will hit some of them with wives. They will run from one town to another town. You will follow them. Let me tell you why I send these people to you. Because of the things that you will do, God will punish you. You will receive the punishment for the murder of Abel.
Okay.
He was a good man. You killed many people, many other good people. You also murdered Zechariah, the son of Berisha. He also was a good man, but your leaders killed him. He died between God's great house and God's special thing.
All right, thank you. So if you are reading the King James, I'm like very familiar with the King James. So it's like, so basically narrating what they have done, that say, woe unto you, that I send unto you prophets and scribes, but you also kill them. You know, say that all of the blood slain on the earth will come unto you, from the blood of Abel to the blood of Zechariah, son of Berechiah, whom you slew between the temple and the altar. You see that all these things will come on this generation. Important. This generation, not a generation 2,000 years into the future. You say anybody who wants to preach this thing will now come and say that, we are that generation. Can't you see the size? Can't you see the size? We are that generation. No, this generation, a generation 2,000 years ago, there's no escaping this generation. But biblically, a generation is 40 years. So, this generation was the people who were alive at the time he was addressing them. Not a generation 2,000 years into the future. So it is from this, after this, then Matthew 23 ends, then 24 begins. They showed him the temple. He now said that look at this temple. Not one stone will be left atop the other that will not be destroyed. Then he now said that, Lord, tell us, when shall these things be? What are these things? What he has been discussing. Right? Up till now. This generation. He said that then he now give them the signs that will follow. So when you see wars and rumors of wars, it was the signs that preceded the destruction of the temple in Jerusalem, the judgment that was to come upon that generation 2,000 years ago. Why is it important to see it this way? For me, is to take God seriously, right? So if God said that something will happen to a generation, if in the Old Testament, if somebody lies, if a prophet lies, you have to stone the prophet. You should not believe anything he said. So if Jesus is wrong about this prophecy, up to the level of 2,000 years, then you shouldn't listen to Jesus again. But for me, I choose to stand by Jesus, that what Jesus said will happen, happened when he said it will happen. That they have not taught us that it has happened, right? I apologize on behalf of all the men of God, right? I'm sorry, right? But that's why we are having this conference, to let you know that everything Jesus said will happen has happened. And I like some of them. So, for instance, okay, some things I just like to do with that text. They said, two brackets. So we have seen the first, this generation. If you go to Matthew 24, I think verse 34 or 35, around there, you will see another this generation. Because of, if you read Matthew 24, it gets to a point that it becomes very graphic, that you see the sign of the Son of Man in heaven. Right? As if now, like some people will be like, he has shifted from this thing to the future, right? But despite all the sign of Son of Man in heaven, lightning from one part of heaven to the other, and after all those plenty graphic stuff, you will see the second bracket. All these things will happen to this generation. So like, I like, there's this thing we do. Now nobody knows the day, not the hour that the Son of Man will come, but we know the year. Well, I don't know. I did not know the day, nor the hour, and neither did they know the day of the hour. But we all know the year. It was 2,000 years ago, about 2,000 years ago, in AD 70. That's when the coming of the Son of Man happened. The coming of the Son of Man is not the physical return of the Son of Man, but the destruction of the temple in Jerusalem. That's the coming of the Son of Man. Does this make sense? Okay. So the gospel preached in all the world. You see, many of us are the reason why many of us we preach the gospel is so that we want to preach the world. They let the whole world hear the gospel, because if the whole world hears the gospel, then Jesus will come. Hallelujah. Right? So a lot of our evangelistic campaigns is